Lake Michigan's brilliant colors on a sunny September morning add beauty to an already spectacular view along Milwaukee's lakefront. However, the blue-green hue appearing on a lagoon just inside the shoreline and other inland bodies of water is a troubling sight, especially for those who swim, fish, and boat on them. Michael Schlesinger shows us how a UW-Milwaukee associate professor is playing the role of water warrior, working with others to combat the attack of blue-green algae.
Down, or you want to dip into here?
All the way down.
Several times a week during summer, you might find Todd Miller in a rowboat on Veterans Park Lagoon. But it's not for leisure, it's totally work. He's gathering samples to see if high levels of blue-green algae are harming this popular recreation spot many of us love to paddleboat or canoe. This group of bacteria thrives on sunlight and specific nutrients in the water. The biggest is phosphorus.
Our main goals are determining what kind of contaminants occur in lakes and in drinking water, how to best monitor for them efficiently and effectively, and then if possible, how can we prevent them from occurring.
This associate UWM professor of environmental health sciences says the problem of blue-green algae, otherwise known as pond scum, has been growing for years, even decades. He believes it's a two-pronged problem. First, runoff from phosphorus-based fertilizers and detergents. And then there's the issue of global climate change.
What's the temp, Matt?
21.8 degrees Celsius.
All right, I'm going to take the sample then. Lakes are warming. There's a number of studies that show that lakes across the globe are warming. And blue-green algae do better at warmer water temperatures. They grow faster.
Dr. Miller says what's so alarming about these dangerous chemical compounds is the fact they're highly adaptable and versatile.
They have that competitive advantage over other algae to move up and down. The stratification traps nutrients towards the bottom of the lake, whereas the top of the lake is where the sunlight is. So they really need to move up and down in the water to get sunlight at the top and nutrients in the bottom.
Through his work, the scientist is helping to develop, or at least play a part, in the creation of sensors for toxin detection. He feels the need for greater oversight, seeing, in his words, there's so little right now.
Most plants in Wisconsin don't test for blue-green algal toxins, and that's simply because it's not required of them to do so.
His lab is even built and deployed 4 buoys in Lake Michigan, monitoring water quality, and in turn, sounding the alarm bells when beaches need to be closed. He also worries about the entire subject becoming a bigger problem for all of us.
Then we have to find different sources of water. Currently, Wisconsin is lucky in having very ample supplies of groundwater, but that is dwindling as well. As we know, Waukesha has had problems with their groundwater sources and has had to turn to Lake Michigan. So we may find more communities turning to the Great Lakes if their surface waters, lakes and rivers, are becoming contaminated with blue-green algae.
And it's not just humans. Eventually, I'm told, fish and other animals could suffer too as oxygen levels decrease, leading to what many refer to as dead zones. Seasonally speaking, the blooms are the worst, you guessed it, during the height of the summer season when many of us are enjoying our time outside and in the water. Enjoyment quickly, however, could turn into something very different.
Acute liver failure. So we're talking about vomiting, headache, joint pain, sometimes a rash.
But the good news, you might say, the chance of you actually developing symptoms isn't that high.
You need to ingest a significant amount of the algae and the toxin.
Miller highly advises all of us to watch the signs, literal ones, all around us, and avoid certain areas.
If you've seen blue-green algae occur in a particular water body, it's probably not the best lake to swim in. It's probably better to go to Lake Michigan, for example, or a lake that typically doesn't have problems with blue-green algae. And that's simply because things can change very quickly over time. There could be a bloom in one part of the lake on one day, and then the wind pushes it to the other side of the lake on another day. But if you do choose to swim in a lake that typically has problems with blue-green algae, the best thing to do is remember, don't ingest the water. If we can remember that, you should be fine.